Today we are meeting with Master Corporal Christine Dedam, who's a meteorological technician. Let's go find out about how important the weather is when it comes to military operations. Hey Christine, ready to talk about all things weather?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm ready to nerd out.
Okay, awesome. Do we have some fun weather coming our way today?
It's actually looking pretty spicy, so if you want to come into the office, I can show you.
Yeah, let's do it. So what exactly does a meteorological technician do?
So their biggest role is to observe, brief, and if not forecast the weather for some important clients.
That sounds really important. What do you actually do with the forecast information when you gather it?
So once all that data is collected, then I'll push that off to some pretty important decision makers.
Can you give us an example of what you'd say during a meteorological brief?
So with all that forecast data, then I'll determine whether or not we've got a thunderstorm rolling in, we've got fog overnight that could impact us, or even some cloud cover that's coming a little too close.
All right. Do all med techs work in a space like this?
So a lot of med techs do work in an aviation facility, but I specifically work for CANSOFCOM.
So you're in CANSOFCOM. What exactly does that mean?
So it is a special operations unit, and that's as far as I can go with that one.
Oh, I'm so intrigued. So what do these lines up here tell you?
So here we've got the METAR, which is the current weather conditions for the airfield, as well as the TAF, which would be the forecast.
And what types of equipment do you use in this role?
So in deployments, I'd like to use the TACMET Air as well as the Met Ranger. Those are essentially my two ICs.
Neat. And what's on the schedule for today?
I'm actually about to do an observation, so if you want to come with me, we'll go out and look at some clouds.
Yes, let's go. So what kind of training went into becoming a Met Tech?
So initially I did 6 months in Winnipeg, and then I did 3 to 4 months at the Joint Met Center for on-the-job training.
And how did you originally join the CAF?
So I joined through the CAF Indigenous Entry Program. It was a 4-week program for non-obligation, exposing the opportunities within the military.
And what would you say the best part of your job is?
The best part for myself is all the places I get to travel to.
Do med techs have any shorthand or slang?
We do have quite a few buzzwords. So sometimes we like to nerd it up with saying things are pretty convective out there, or it's looking a little unstable.
And what would you say your average day is like in this job?
Well, since the weather isn't very average, I can't say we have a typical day. It's always changing.
Got it. It seems like there's a lot of collaboration in your role. Would you say you work a lot with others, or is it more independent?
So it can be very independent. So a lot of the times we're working by ourselves. So once all that data is gathered, then we're collaborating with all the other sections within the unit.
Okay, favorite military movie?
Not to sound cheesy, but that's Top Gun, the original one.
Yeah. What's your favorite deployment you've been on?
So I've been on quite a few, from pretty warm places to very cold, but I really enjoyed CFS Alert in the Arctic.
How would the job of a Met Tech change for someone who's working with the Army, Navy, or Air Force?
So in the Navy, a lot of the times that forecast is used for sailing, and in the Army, we're advising the guns or artillery. And for myself in the aviation side, I'm advising flights. But I'm gonna head up now.
All right, so if you're investigating the weather right now, what are you looking for?
Well, it isn't obvious how windy it is. I'm actually looking for the visibility, so I'm checking out the mountains over there, as well as the cloud cover, if it's scattered or overcast.
Okay, and what's the hardest thing to learn as a Met Tech?
Well, initially it was public speaking. Now it's understanding I have no control over the weather.
All right, okay, I'm really getting a sense of how vital your role is. At the end of a busy day, how do you like to unwind?
So if it's not baking sourdough bread, it's a good yoga session. That really helps me relax.
Nice. What's your coolest memory as a Met Tech?
So I had the opportunity up north, and I've got a few really cool selfies with the wolves behind me.
That is cool. If you retired tomorrow, what would you miss most about your role?
Honestly, it would be the people. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing professionals.
And what's tomorrow's forecast?
Hopefully a lot warmer than this, and definitely sunnier.
All right, last question. Would you recommend the Met Tech trade to others?
I definitely would. If you're looking for a sense of adventure and an opportunity, this is the trade for you.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time, Christine.
Thank you very much.